Hey, it's Taylor from Semi-Random Science, and the education system is absolutely incredible. It teaches many kids how to do much more complex things than we've ever been able to teach kids to do ever. And so it's an absolutely incredible system. But there are many ways in which I think it could be substantially improved. And the one that I'm going to talk about today is grading. I think that the current grading system is quite demotivating. As a student, there's times when I look at my grade on an assignment and I think, there is no way I'm going to be able to get an A after this. And I try my best to be a straight A. Currently I have a 4.0, but there's just times where you look at this assignment that you didn't do so well. You spent a lot of time on it, but you just didn't get the concept as well. And it looks like after that you're never going to be able to get an A. And I don't think that this is how it should be. I think that instead of getting a bad grade on an assignment, bringing you really far back and just making it feel like there's no way to get an A and almost, it's very demotivating. I feel like we should have a very motivating system. This is talked about in detail in Peter Diamandis' book called Abundance, where he outlines ways that we can really make the future a better place. And what he kind of starts to go over is a grading system that's very motivating. He talks about somebody who did some research and talks about video games and how you start at the level 0 avatar or whatever it is, and you build up. Every time you do something, it gives you points, and those points gradually help you build up until you reach the highest level, which may be like a level 12. And so he talks about how school could be adapted to fit something like this. And so he says that each assignment could be worth a certain number of points, and then those points add up. So you start at the level 0, and then you move over, and you keep on building these points. Each time, even if you get a bad grade on an assignment, it still is adding points to your overall total. And so it's very motivating. It's a motivating system. You're moving forward. Even if you get a bad grade, it's forward momentum is what he talks about. It's giving students forward momentum. And he talks about there's two things that students really need to be able to succeed in schools. That is forward momentum and being able to always know exactly where you are. And this is another one where this grading system excels, especially in comparison to our current grading system. If you get a bad grade on an assignment, especially if grades are weighted, it makes it really hard to calculate, and you don't just know immediately where you are. But with a leveling up system, it would be much easier to know where you are. You start at that level 0, and when you add some points, then you know, well, I'm about this far. I know that I had about this many points before. If I add this many points, it's going to bring me to this point. And so it's much easier to just comprehend where you are and how close you are getting to that final and best grade that you're able to achieve. I would actually think that it would be interesting to even try and expand this maybe a little bit further and splitting it into even concepts. And so you don't necessarily get just one grade for an entire class and have each assignment build up, because then you could skip out on entire concepts and still make that level 12 or whatever's the highest grade. I feel like it'd be excellent if you had each concept which was split up so that they were about all equal weight, and then every time you got an assignment in that class, you would then get points, and it would say 50% of the points go towards this concept because this concept is really shown on this assignment, or even you could split up into questions. This question goes to this concept, and it would be a little bit harder to know where you are, but then you're still getting that forward momentum. Every single time you do something, you're moving forward, but you're also being able to split it up into concepts. So if you just totally miss out on one concept, it's going to significantly drop your grade, which is good because then you're promoting mastery in every concept. Another thing that's good about this grading system is that it does show mastery better than the other grading system. Our current grading system shows, well, in this general area, he has an A. And so you're grading it based on, just in that general area. But this system actually says, well, he has mastered this concept. He is a level 12 in this concept. It's really easy to see that this concept has been mastered, and then he has, you know, some other concepts where he's maybe a level 10, a level 9, so he's a little bit lower, but you can see specifically which concepts he's mastered. And then you're just getting always that forward momentum, those two things. Even with this one, you have the forward momentum, and it's honestly still pretty easy to know about where your grade is going to stand, because you're looking and it's giving you this many points to this concept, which is going to move your grade up by 1/12 or whatever, how many ever concepts that class is split into for that term. And it's just going to be easy to know about how much it's moving you forward. And so I think that this would be a great grading system that would give those two things that we really need. Forward, and the most important by far, is you're getting that forward momentum. It's a very motivating system. A student gets a bad grade on an assignment and they're like, okay, this isn't giving me as many points as I need to be able to make this. And they're looking at it like that instead of, oh no, this drops my grade so much. How many assignments would I need to be getting super high scores on to be able to then bring my grade to balance that out? It's, well, okay, so I just need to get this many extra points. And so it just makes people look at it in an entirely different way. And, you know, video games, people consider video games very fun, when a lot of video games are very challenging and they are having to master, you know, maybe it's like things in the game, but you know, they're still having to master these concepts, even if they're not real life concepts, to be able to then level up their character and move on in the game. And people are willing to do it. And so if they were real life concepts, I feel like it would add that extra element of moving forward to it that makes games really fun, that progression, that really makes it so that it could work in schools, I think. As for implementing a grading system like this, I don't entirely know how it would be implemented, but I think that we could adapt a very similar system to how we've already set up assignments and different projects in school that could work for this. We'd then have to create a new computer program or whatever to enter this into that would do it like this and calculate your grades as this does. But I honestly think that the current assignment structure would work very well for this grading method. And so just overall, I think it would be a great grading method to try out and to look at as an option, because I think it would just be so much more motivating for kids. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this. Education is a passion of mine. I really love learning about education and learning about new ways that we could make it better in the future. Because I really think that education is super important. Because you think about, I don't know if any of you guys have seen a video by E.A. Prince where he says, students may only be 20% of our population, but they are 100% of our future. The students, if we're encouraging them to learn, and if it's a better way of learning and it just encourages them more, then I think that we're going to be progressing faster as an entire society. So I just think that education is super important. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you liked it, hit the subscribe button and the like button. And also follow me on social media where I'll be posting updates and talking about new videos I'm making, and also where you can suggest videos. Suggest videos on social media and down in the comments. Anyway, just once again, thanks for watching.